We are getting an update. A teenager accused of killing Anna Kepner on a cruise ship last year has been arrested. New documents are showing that her 16-year-old stepbrother, Timothy Hudson, turned himself...
Anna Kepner case update. Judge orders accused stepbrother into custody ahead of trial. A federal judge has made a dramatic decision in one of the most disturbing true crime cases of the year. For months, the teenager accused of murdering 18-year-old Anna Kepner remained out of custody while awaiting trial. But now, everything has changed. The judge overseeing the case has ordered Timothy Hudson into federal detention, describing the allegations in language that stunned many following the investigation. What new evidence and arguments convinced the court to reverse course? What does this mean for the upcoming trial? And why are Anna's family members saying they finally feel at peace? Tonight, we're breaking down every major development in the Anna Kepner case, examining newly revealed court findings, the prosecution strategy, the defense position, and what happens next. If you're following this case, stay until the end because we'll also discuss the unanswered questions that still remain. Welcome back to the channel. Before we begin, remember that Timothy Hudson has pleaded not guilty and remains innocent unless proven guilty in court. Our goal is to examine the facts, court records, and verified reporting available at this time. Now let's start with a brief recap of the case that shocked the country. Anna Kepner was an 18-year-old Florida teenager described by family and friends as bright, ambitious, and deeply loved. In November 2025, she joined family members aboard a Carnival cruise vacation. What should have been a family getaway became a nightmare. Anna was later found dead aboard the ship. Authorities eventually ruled her death a homicide. Federal investigators became involved because the incident occurred in international waters. As the investigation progressed, suspicion focused on Anna's 16-year-old stepbrother, Timothy Hudson. Months later, prosecutors formally accused him of murder and aggravated sexual abuse. Hudson has denied wrongdoing and entered a not guilty plea. The case has attracted enormous public attention due to the family relationship, the cruise ship setting, and the disturbing allegations. Now we arrive at the latest update. For a period of time, Hudson was not being held in detention while awaiting trial. However, prosecutors continued pushing for custody. According to recent court proceedings, the judge ultimately agreed. The court revoked Hudson's previous release arrangement and ordered him into custody pending trial. This decision appears to represent a major shift in how the court views the risk factors surrounding the case. The judge reportedly cited the seriousness of the allegations and concerns regarding public safety. This was not a routine procedural move. It signals that the court found the government's arguments persuasive enough to justify detention before trial. For observers following the case, this became one of the most significant developments since the original charges were announced. So why did this happen now? Court filings suggest prosecutors argued that the allegations themselves demonstrated an extraordinary level of danger. The government emphasized the nature of the charges and the circumstances surrounding Anna's death. The judge ultimately agreed that no existing supervision arrangement would sufficiently address those concerns. Legal experts often point out that pretrial detention is not meant to punish someone before conviction. Instead, courts generally evaluate issues such as community safety, risk of flight, potential obstruction concerns, overall risk assessment. In this case, the court determined detention was warranted. That decision could have implications for how the prosecution frames its arguments moving forward. The emotional impact on Anna's family remains profound. Recent public statements indicate that family members expressed relief following the detention decision. According to those statements, they believe the ruling helps ensure no one else can be harmed while the legal process continues. For the family, this moment appears to represent more than a legal victory. It represents a sense of security during an incredibly painful chapter. At the same time, the family continues to mourn Anna and prepare for what is expected to be a highly emotional trial. As the trial approaches, prosecutors are expected to focus heavily on forensic evidence, witness testimony, and the timeline of events aboard the cruise ship. Observers will be watching closely to see what evidence is admitted. How strongly does it connect the accused to the crime? What challenges will the defense raise? And what explanations will be offered for disputed evidence? These questions could ultimately determine the outcome of the case. The defense has consistently maintained that Hudson is not guilty. As with any major criminal trial, defense attorneys are expected to scrutinize the investigation, the forensic findings, witness credibility, and the prosecution's overall theory. Until evidence is tested in court, many questions remain unanswered. That's why the upcoming proceedings will be so important. The next major milestone is trial. Both sides are preparing for what could become one of the most closely watched criminal proceedings of the year. The court will continue handling motions, evidence disputes, and procedural matters. Each filing could reveal additional information about what prosecutors and defense attorneys plan to present. As new documents become available, we will continue following every development. The Anna Kepner case continues to raise difficult questions about family dynamics, accountability, and justice. Now that the accused has been ordered into custody pending trial, attention turns to what may happen in court and whether prosecutors can prove their allegations beyond a reasonable doubt. What do you think is the most significant development in this case so far? Do you believe the detention ruling signals anything about the strength of the prosecution's case? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. If you found this update informative, subscribe for future true crime Naboma coverage, turn on notifications, and check out our playlist covering the biggest developing cases right now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.